Hello, today I will be talking about movie review number 927. This is Ray Misérables, the 2012 version. Ray Misérables is a 2012 movie directed by Tom Hooper. Tom Hooper, who also directed films like The King's Speech and Cats. So, this is from Universal Pictures, Camack International Films, and Looking Title Films that I saw on February 22nd, 2024 at AMC Westchester 18 in Westchester, Ohio in the Dolby Cinema Auditorium. So, back in 2023, uh, I was informed that there was going to be a remastered version of the 2012 version of Les Miserables coming back to theaters, AMC Theaters, Dolby Cinema, and I originally thought it was going to be released late last year, but then it was going to be released in February 2024. So I was super excited to see this movie again. I did see this movie in early 2013 in January at the Regal Movie Theater in Deerfield Town Center in Mason, Ohio. And yeah, this is definitely probably one of the best movie musicals I've ever seen. And so this is based on the Broadway version or stage musical production, along with being adapted based on the book by Victor Hugo. After 19 years as a prisoner, Sean Valjean, played by Hugh Jackman in the film, is freed by Javert, played by Russell Crowe, the officer in charge of the prison workforce. Valjean promptly breaks parole, but Whale uses money from stolen silver to reinvent himself as a mayor and factory owner. Javert vows to bring Valjean back to prison. 8 years later, Valjean becomes the guardian of a child named Cosette after her mother's death, played by Anne Hathaway. But Javert's relentless pursuit means that peace will be a long time coming. Ooh. So, like I said, the movie is based on the Broadway production or stage musical of the same name, along with along with adapted from the Victor Hugo novel. Now I know there was a 1996 or 7 version. I believe I saw Liam Neeson in it, but I think that was more based on the book rather than being a musical. This is a musical, and so we've seen many actors and actresses in the movie, like Hugh Jackman as Sean Valjean, who was a prisoner for 19, who was a prisoner for 19 years after stealing a loaf of bread, and Russell Crowe plays Javert in the film, who is the leader, who is the main police officer of the prison workforce. He has a personal vendetta against Valjean, and when Valjean breaks parole, Javert vows to bring Valjean back to prison. But Valjean has other ideas. So, 8 years later, we see Jean Valjean meeting Ferret Fantine, played by Anne Hathaway in the film, who happens to be the mother of Cosette and a struggling factory worker. Well, after she dies, Valjean decides to care for Cosette, who is played by Amanda Seyfried in the film. Now Isabel Allen portrays Cosette as a child, but then we see Cosette grown up, played by Amanda Seyfried in the film. And we see other actors and actresses in the movie like Eddie Redmayne as Marcus Pontmercy, who is a student revolutionary. We see Helena Bonham Carter and Sacha Baron Cohen as the Thénardiers, who are a pair of swindling innkeepers. And they make appearances throughout the film trying to swindle money from people. Um, and they have Cosette working for them until Sean Fashon decides to kill for Cosette. And then we also see Samantha Boss as Eponine, who is Defender Dio's daughter. And let's just say that Eponine has a little crush on Marcus, or Marius, I meant to say, even though Marius has eyes for Cosette. And we see other actors and actresses in the movie as well. So I really thought this was a pretty good movie. And this takes place in 19th century France. And so there's a revolution going on, and that is where many of the characters, right, Marius, Eponine, are trying to strike back against the police, the members of the union, and at the same time, Marius has eyes for Cosette, but Eponine has eyes for Marius. So a little bit of a love triangle. But Falchon must try to do everything he can to keep Cosette safe from Shafut and everything else. But Sean Falchon knows that in order to get peace, he have to wait a while. I thought it was a pretty good movie. And I will say that 95% of the movie, 90 to 95%, is singing. There are a couple of times where we hear the actors actually talk rather than sing, but there are not really too many scenes. But yeah, if you're a fan of the Broadway production or a fan of the novel, then you probably will enjoy this movie. Now, I've never seen the musical or read the book, but I definitely enjoyed this, and I was very happy to see this movie again. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I definitely recommend it. So that's my movie review of Les Miserables, the 2012 version. Please enjoy my next movie review. Alright, goodbye.